okay, so some of my insecurities is number one would be that I talk so fucking fast. You just fly through. Even when I was camping, one guy was like, I don't know what you're saying most of the time. And I was like, see, he's a guy that's just like brutally honest, and he just like doesn't care. Even when he met some of the other people, he was just like making a joke that like might not hit if you just met somebody, but he would take it anyways, take the risk, because like that's who he is. He just takes the risk, and like they hit or they don't, it doesn't matter. But he's just like, I don't know what you're saying. Like looked at me, and I was like, okay.
You were like, okay.
I don't know what you're saying. But yeah, so that's probably definitely my biggest insecurity. And like there's been times where I work on it a lot more than I do. Like at this point, maybe 6 months ago to a year, I was like more focused on speaking slowly. But now it's like getting faster because I don't know why. It just like is up and down. It's just like sometimes I just want to say it and get it out. Or like when I'm tired and I'm lazy, I like want to say it faster so I don't have to speak as much. I don't know what it is. Like, that's what I think it is most recently. But yeah, he was like, I don't know what you're saying. And then somebody's like, I don't even know if sometimes those are real words. But sometimes they're not, because I'm calling like a burger a burger. He's like,
you do that?
Well, we're just like we're drinking and having fun. And I was like, started speaking gibberish for no reason.
For fun, yeah. I
was like, who wants burgers? And he's like, you speak fast and I don't know what that is. And I'm like, okay. But it's an insecurity, but I know it's kind of who I am. So I don't go home and be like, fuck, I'm so fast again. Like, speaking like the Flash, but it's like I should still work on that.
If you want to.
I do want to, because I don't want to have to. I speak fast, and sometimes my reasoning is because I want to get it out faster because I'm like lazy. But then when someone says, "What'd you say?" it's like I have to say it again. Yeah. So it's like, what's the point of me having to say it twice when I can just like slow down the first time and like not mumble and enunciate my words, and then it comes out easier, you know. So that's one of the biggest. Then my sister has that issue too. She speaks very fast. Not as much anymore because she's like in Portugal and time is just slowly goes. For me, it's like more fast paced. I don't know. There's been moments where I wanted to go speech therapy and moments where I just like wouldn't speak up in a large crowd of people because people would be like, "Why is that guy speaking so fast?" Or like when I'm with my friends and there's like new people around, like I wouldn't openly speak to this friend like the most as I would, because people are gonna be like, what language is that? And I'm like, it's English, man, just really fast. But now I'm at the point where even when I serve and I speak fast, I just don't care. Like they say what, or you speak fast, I'm like, okay, I'll slow it down. But yes, I do speak fast, you're right. Like that's just what it is. So yeah, that's mostly where it's been going. Where it's like people are like, oh, you speak fast. I'm like, yep, I do. I'm sorry. Like I don't really say I'm sorry. It's just like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm either working on it or like keep up, you know? People that are in my life more frequently, like a lot of my friends and family, they understand because they're around it so often. But there's a moment where when I was hanging out with Guido, I was hanging out with him as I did often, like every fucking day. And then like when I went to Toronto and he'd stay in Saga, we wouldn't hang out much. And then when we got back to hanging out again, he's like, wow, I starting to like have to work on understanding you again, because especially when we're just hanging out and shooting the shit and I'm not like publicly speaking or I'm not actively trying to speak slower. It's like just hanging out, I'm just going fast. And he's just like, whoa. He speaks a lot slower, so it's like a real clash. Yeah. So that's definitely my biggest insecurity. So the way I beat that is either just accept it, or when I understand that it is affecting me in my mood, then I'll just work on actively slowing it down. Yeah. That's a silly one?
Well, see, when I talk about other people's, I don't think any of them are silly, because I get where they could come from. But if you want to label it as silly, sure.
No, I don't label it as silly.
Okay, then it's not silly.
It's silly.
It's silly.
How do you feel about me speaking fast and that being an insecurity?
Well, as pretty much everyone does, when we hear other people's insecurities, we're like, why? That makes zero sense. Like, no, that's not something to be insecure about. But I get it. Like, everyone has their different battles. But I feel like this insecurity is different than those ones where it's like... But maybe that's because it's still coming from me. Well, I guess mine are more physical, right?
Yeah, mine is more...
So is that what you're saying? Like, how do I feel about yours being not physical?
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is that you can work on it. You just have to try. Mm-hmm. I guess the only bad thing would be is, do you feel like you're not yourself when you speak slower?
No, I just feel probably better when I speak slower.
Nice. So then
I just like don't do it though.
yeah. So well then that's just your personal choice, and if people can't understand you, then hopefully they'll say, "Hey, dude, I can't understand you." You just say, "Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry, I speak a little fast. I'll try to slow down." But you're just being you.
Yeah. I feel like from it coming from me and me expressing that as an insecurity, and you saying, "Oh, it's not really that much of an insecurity," or like kind of thing, but it's like for me, it's like that whole big world, that whole big piece in my world where it's like that is something that is there.
Well, that's why I'm saying, if you think it's small and silly, then yeah, sure, it's small and silly. But if you think it's big, then it doesn't matter what I think. Yes, it is big to you, and that's all that
Fair.
matters.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I think that it is small in a sense, but at the end of the day, like, it's something I can change. So to make the change for the better of everybody, has to become big.
Sure.
What the hell?
Well, you could argue that about anyone's insecurities.
It's true.
If I was thought about being scrawny was insecurity, just work out. It's like, okay, cool, fight for what you want.